Hello and welcome to this video on simplifying algebraic expressions. And in this video we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting algebraic expressions. This is sometimes called collecting like terms. Okay, let's just unpick the title of this video a little bit. So what do I mean by simplifying? I mean making something more simple or writing it in algebraic shorthand. And if you need a little bit of a refresher on what the rules of algebraic shorthand are, you need to watch the video with the title Algebraic Notation. Okay, what do I mean by an expression? Well, an expression in maths or algebra is as follows. So here you can see in this little green bubble here, I have got an x and a plus 2. And each of these individually are called terms. So x on its own is called a term, and 2, the plus 2 on its own, is called a term. But together they form an expression. Let's have a look at the one below. 2a on its own is called a term, and the plus 3b on its own is called a term. But together they form an expression. So it's like a collection of terms, basically. An expression is like a collection of terms. Contrast this with what you will see as you progress through this topic of algebra, is what an equation is. So an equation is something that contains an equals sign. Okay, you can see here that an expression, or these expressions here, do not contain any equals signs. So that is basically what distinguishes an expression from an equation. An equation must contain an equal sign, but an expression does not. You can see here, if I just had 2x plus 3, that would be an expression, just that. But once I put the equal sign in there and equate it to something, then that becomes an equation. But on its own, with no equal sign, an expression is just a collection of terms. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the rules for adding and subtracting algebraic terms. So here, the top line says a plus b equals a plus b. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that you cannot collect them or simplify them any further. So a plus b, I cannot simplify that anymore. It is just a plus b. Similarly, x minus y is just x minus y. I can't make it any more simple. On the third line, however, I have got x plus x. Now that can be simplified to 2x. Y plus y plus y can be simplified to 3y. 2x plus 3x can be simplified to 5x. What have I done there? Well, you can see here I have just added the 2 and the 3. Where have I got the 3 from here? Well, you can think about it as 1y plus 1y plus 1y makes 3y's. 1x plus 1x makes 2x's. So 2 plus 3 makes 5. What about this here? Well, if you think about your number line, minus 5 on the number line plus 2 takes you to minus 3 on the number line. Now the bottom row here says x squared plus x is just equal to x squared plus x. That is because I cannot simplify x squared plus x anymore. This is because they are not like terms. They are not like terms. This is an x squared term. This is an x squared term, like you can see here, whereas this is just an x term. So I can't put them together. I can't simplify them any further because x squared is not a like term to just an x term. Here I had an x term and an x term, which just gives me an x term. But I cannot simplify an x squared term with an x term. It will just stay as this. So they are some of the basic rules, but hopefully they will become a bit more clear as we go through the video. So let's have a look at example number 1. It says simplify x plus x plus x plus x. And if we look back at what the rules we just looked at were, you can see here it said x plus x gives me 2x, and if you remember, it's like having a 1 in front of each one of them here. It's like having a 1. So if I've got 1x plus 1x plus 1x plus 1x, I get 4x. Similarly to where I got 2x from here. X plus x makes 2x. Example number 2. Simplify 3a plus 4a plus b. Okay, so which ones are like terms? Well, I've got an a term here and an a term here, and they are like. They are similar, in other words. But I've got a b term here, so that's unlike. I can't collect that together. So what can I collect together? Well, I can collect together my 3a and my 4a. And together they would give me 7a. It's worth mentioning at this point that this plus sign is associated with this 4. What's the sign in front of this one? Well, if there's no sign, it automatically means it's a positive. So I've got positive 3 plus 4 gives me positive 7. I could put a positive there if I wanted to, but you don't need to. What have I got left that I cannot make any more simple? I've just got a positive b, and I could put positive 1b, but I'm just going to write it as plus b. And it's really important that that sign, that plus sign, is with that b. That's going to come into play shortly when we're dealing with negatives. So it's really important that you understand that that plus sign is not just in the middle there for no reason, it's attached to that b. A bit like the plus sign here, which I don't need to put, but I can for example purposes, is attached to that 7a. So the final answer is 7a plus b. Example number 3. So we've got minus 2y plus 6y. So I've got two like terms here because they're both y terms, and I'm going to collect them together. So that minus sign is with that 2y, and that plus sign is with that 6y. So I'm going to go to minus 2 on my number line, which is here, and I'm going to add 6. So if you think about your number line, if you're adding 6, you're going to get to positive 4. So the answer is positive 4y. You could put the positive there, you don't need to, but I'm just putting it there for example purposes so that everyone knows it's not a negative. So positive 4y because we ended up here on the number line. Example 4. Simplify 5m plus 2 plus 4m plus 3. Okay, so what are my like terms? Well, my like terms are my m term here and my m term here. And actually I'm going to highlight the sign as well, because that sign goes with that. And there's of course an invisible sign in front of here as well. And my other like terms are the plus 2 here and the plus 3 here. So I'm going to collect together my m's, and if I collect together my m's, I get positive 5m plus 4m gives me positive 9m, or you can just put 9m. But now I've got numbers, and the numbers are separate, so lots of students get confused, and they would say that this is 5m plus 2, making it 7m, plus 4, making it 11m, plus another 3, making it 14m, but it's not. Only these are your m terms. They are the only m terms you have, and these are number terms. So plus 2 plus 3 makes plus 5. So your final answer is 9m plus 5. Example 5. Simplify 8c minus 12c. And we've got two like terms here because they're both c's. So I'm just going to look at my number line, and I'm going to find 8. Positive 8 on my number line, because of course if it doesn't have anything in front of it, it just means it's a plus. So I'm going to find positive 8 on my number line, which is here, and I'm going to subtract 12, and that takes me down to minus 4. So the final answer is minus 4c. Example 6, simplify x plus 5y plus 3x plus 4y. So my like terms here, I've got an x term here, which of course, if it hasn't got a sign in front of it, automatically means it's positive, and it's basically positive 1x. And I've got positive 3x here, so they're my like terms, they're both x terms, so I'm going to collect them together in a moment. Here I've got a y term, it's a positive 5y and a positive 4y, and I'm going to collect those together in a moment too. So what's positive 1 plus 3 is positive 4x. Again, you could just put 4x, you don't need to put the plus sign in, but I'm just going to leave it there for the moment. And then if you've got positive 5 plus 4, I've got positive 9y. So again, I'm just going to reiterate that that sign there, that plus, is with that 4. That plus is with that 9. That's going to be really important in a moment. Okay, example number 7. Simplify minus 2e plus 4f plus 5e plus f. Okay, so I've got some e terms. So I've got minus 2e plus 5e. Look at where I'm putting the rings around it. I'm just going to show you what a wrong circling would look like. So some students put circles around things like that and that, okay? But that is incorrect. The sign always goes with the number or letter immediately to the right of it. Okay, so that sign, the positive 4 there, that positive goes with the number or letter immediately to the right of it. That plus belongs to the 5e, immediately to the right of it. That plus belongs to that f. So the sign always belongs to the number or letter immediately to the right of it. So now I can collect my like terms. Minus 2 plus 5. Well, if I go to minus 2 plus 5 on my number line, minus 2 plus 5 takes me to positive 3e on my number line. And if I go to positive 4, because I'm doing this one now, if I go to positive 4 and I add another 1, because remember this is a 1, you just don't need to put the 1 in front of it. Positive 4 plus another 1 is positive 5f, and that positive sign is with that 5f. Example 8. Let's put some circles around my like terms. So I've got a positive 3c there and a negative 7c there. And I've got a negative 2d there and a positive 8d there. So let's have a look at the number line. If I start off I'm starting off with this one, I'm going to go to plus 3 on my number line, and now I'm going to subtract 7. If I subtract 7, I'm left with minus 4c on my number line. And if I start at minus 2, because I'm doing this one now, if I start at minus 2 and I plus 8, I'm left at positive 6d. So the final answer is minus 4c plus 6d. Lots of students think that you just put a negative sign in the middle here. Say, for example, here, lots of students think you put a negative sign here because there's a negative sign here, for example. Okay, but that is not the case. Okay, do not put a negative sign there. It is whatever is attached to this bit here. Okay, so whatever that d is, which we've got from doing minus 2 plus 8, if that takes you into the positives, then that is what you put. You put that as a positive. Example 9. 5x, which is positive. 4x, which is positive. Minus 3y, minus 2y. Okay, well, if I've got positive 5 plus another 4, it takes me to positive 9x, which I'm just going to write as 9x. And if I look at my number line and I do minus 3 minus another 2, it takes me to minus 5y. And can you see that the sign that I've put in the middle there is because the y is minus. Because I've got it from doing minus 3 minus 2, which gets me to minus 5. So your final answer is 9x minus 5y. Example 10. I've got minus 8x minus x, and I've got minus y plus 5y. So let's have a look at the number line. Let's go to minus 8 on the number line, because that's what we start off with here. And then I'm going to minus another 1, because remember, if it's got nothing in front of it like that, it is a 1. So minus 8 minus another 1 goes to minus 9x. And if I go to minus, well, this has been minus 1, go to minus 1, and I add 5, that takes me to positive 4y. And look, the sign that's in the middle there is because that y is positive, because we've got it from going from minus 1 here and adding on 5 to get to there. Okay, here are some for you to have a go at. So pause the video now, have a go at these on some paper or in your maths book, and then restart the video to see the answers. And here are the answers coming up. So well done for having a go at those.